Imagine waking up in a world where the map of Earth looks completely different, where democracy never became the global standard, where speaking against the government could cost you your freedom or even your life. What if the Second World War had ended with Nazi Germany victorious? Could the United States have survived as a superpower? Would the Cold War have ever happened? Or would humanity be living in a world unlike anything we know today? Today, we're opening the door to one of history's darkest alternate timelines. This is not history. This is history rewritten. Before we begin, remember, everything you're about to see is based on historical facts combined with alternate history analysis. None of these events actually happened, but they are built on one terrifying question. What if just a few key moments had unfolded differently? Because sometimes, history isn't changed by centuries. Sometimes, it's changed by a single decision, a single battle, a single day. And in 1945, the fate of the entire world balanced on exactly that. April 1945. In our timeline, Berlin was surrounded. German cities were burning. The Soviet army was closing in from the east. The Western Allies were advancing from the west. Within weeks, the Third Reich collapsed. But imagine something different. Imagine the Soviet offensive stalled. Imagine the Allied invasion slowed by political disagreements and supply failures. Imagine Germany successfully deploying new jet fighters, advanced submarines, and longer-range missiles in greater numbers. The war doesn't end in May. It continues, month after month, until everything begins to change. Summer 1945. Europe is exhausted. Millions are dead. Britain faces economic collapse. The United States is struggling to maintain two massive fronts. Meanwhile, Germany manages to hold its defensive lines far longer than anyone expected. Negotiations begin, not because anyone trusts Germany, but because the cost of continuing the war becomes almost unbearable. A fragile peace is signed across parts of Europe. The Nazi regime survives instead of collapsing. Its leadership claims victory to its own population, even though much of the continent lies in ruins. Across Europe, borders begin to change. Governments are replaced. Resistance movements are hunted down. The future that millions hoped for never arrives. Instead, a very different chapter of history begins. And this is only the beginning, because if Germany survives 1945, the next question becomes even more frightening. What kind of world would emerge over the following decades? Could America remain free? Would the Soviet Union recover? Or would the 21st century belong to a completely different global order? Let's find out. Part 2. Hitler's New World Order. A New World Awakens. The year is 1946. The guns have finally fallen silent, but peace never truly arrived. Across Europe, massive victory banners hang from government buildings. Military parades fill the streets. Radio stations broadcast the same message. A new era has begun for millions of people. This isn't liberation, it's the beginning of a new reality. The war is over, but fear has become part of everyday life. Within months, the political map of Europe changes completely. Countries no longer make their own decisions. Governments that oppose the new regime disappear. Many leaders flee into exile, others simply vanish. Borders are redrawn. New administrations answer to Berlin. Major highways, railways, and military bases connect the continent like one enormous machine. Every city serves a purpose. Every factory produces for the state. Every school teaches a carefully controlled version of history. Children grow up learning only one story, one leader, one future. Across the continent, surveillance becomes part of everyday life. Neighbors become informants. Conversations become dangerous. Trust slowly disappears. Ironically, the world also witnesses an explosion of scientific progress. The government pours enormous resources into engineering, aviation, missile research, and medicine. Jet aircraft become faster. Rocket technology advances years ahead of schedule. Massive research facilities appear across Europe. But there's a dark side. Scientific achievement no longer exists only to improve lives. Much of it serves military power and state control. Technology becomes another tool for maintaining authority. The same discoveries that could transform humanity can also strengthen fear. Across the Atlantic, the United States watches carefully. The war has ended, but not with the outcome anyone expected. American citizens wonder, should another war begin, or should the nation rebuild and avoid another conflict? Washington strengthens its military. Intelligence agencies expand. New alliances quietly form. A different kind of confrontation begins, not a world at peace, but a world divided into powerful rival blocs. The Cold War, as we know it, never happens. Instead, an even more uncertain global rivalry emerges. History often celebrates victories, but every victory carries a price. Even in this alternate timeline, the continent remains devastated. Cities lie in ruins. Families remain separated. Food is scarce. Entire generations carry the emotional scars of years of conflict. Power may have changed hands, but suffering never disappeared. And while governments celebrate their success, ordinary people continue fighting a different battle, the battle to survive. But controlling Europe was only the first step, because beyond the oceans, another race was already beginning. A race for nuclear weapons, for space, for technology, and for global dominance. If this alternate world continued into the 21st century, what would life look like today? Would artificial intelligence exist? Would smartphones ever be invented? Would America still lead the world? Or would history belong to someone else? Let's travel even further into this alternate future. Part 3. Technology, America, USSR, and Daily Life. The race for the future. The world didn't stop after the war. It simply entered a different kind of battlefield, no longer defined by trenches, but by laboratories, rocket engines, computers, and nuclear technology. Every major power understood one terrifying truth. The nation that controlled tomorrow's technology would control tomorrow's world. Across the Atlantic, the United States refuses to fade into history. Instead of another world war, America launches an economic and technological revolution. Universities receive record funding. Scientists race to develop faster computers, smarter communications, and more powerful satellites. Hollywood becomes more than entertainment. It becomes a symbol of freedom. American culture spreads across the world through music, movies, and television. The battlefield is no longer Europe. It's the hearts and minds of billions of people. What happened to the Soviet Union? But one question remains. What became of the Soviet Union? In this alternate timeline, its future is uncertain. Perhaps it survives as a weakened state after devastating losses. Perhaps it fractures into smaller nations struggling to rebuild. Or perhaps it retreats eastward, determined to rise again one day. Whatever the outcome, one thing is clear. The balance of power that shaped our real history would be completely different. Without the familiar East versus West rivalry, the political map of the world would evolve in unexpected ways. Every alliance, every border, every international decision would carry different consequences. Everyday life in this alternate world. Now imagine, you're not a soldier. You're just an ordinary citizen. You wake up each morning, go to work, take the train, buy groceries, but life feels different. News comes from only a handful of approved sources. Many books are difficult to find. Certain opinions are risky to express. Schools emphasize loyalty to the state. Public celebrations are carefully organized. Technology continues to improve. Cars become faster. Cities become more modern. Artificial intelligence begins to emerge. Robots help in factories. Medical science advances. Yet people constantly wonder, how much privacy still exists? How much freedom remains? Progress and control seem to grow together. The future looks impressive, but also unsettling. A world living in uncertainty. Decades pass. The skyline changes. Technology transforms everyday life. Children grow up knowing only this version of history. To them, this world feels normal. Yet, beneath the surface, tension never disappears. Nuclear weapons continue to expand. Cyber warfare replaces traditional espionage. Powerful nations compete through economics, innovation, and influence. Everyone hopes peace will last, but everyone knows one mistake could change everything. And that brings us to the biggest question of all. If this alternate timeline continued until today, what would Earth look like in 2026? Would humanity be more advanced, or would it have sacrificed too much along the way? In the final chapter, we'll explore the world of 2026 and discover whether winning a war truly guarantees a better future. Part 4. The world in 2026. The year is 2026. At first glance, the world looks familiar. Towering skyscrapers, artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, reusable rockets, supercomputers. But look closer. The world feels different. Instead of one dominant global system, power is divided among rival superstates. International cooperation is weaker. Global institutions have far less influence. Technology continues to advance. Yet, every major breakthrough is viewed through the lens of national security. Scientific progress is no longer just about improving lives. It's also about maintaining strategic advantage. The cost of an alternate history. History often asks a simple question: who won? But perhaps that's the wrong question. A better one might be: what did humanity lose? Even if one side had emerged victorious, the destruction of war would still have left deep scars. Entire generations would have grown up in a world shaped by conflict. Families would still mourn, cities would still rebuild, and countless opportunities for peace, cooperation, and scientific exchange might have been delayed or transformed. No nation escapes the human cost of global war. The twist. Here's the strangest part. History is rarely inevitable. The world we know today wasn't guaranteed. It was shaped by millions of decisions, some made by world leaders, others made by ordinary people. A delayed message, a failed operation, a successful negotiation, a single battle. Even a few unexpected moments can change the course of history. That's why alternate history is so fascinating. Not because it tells us what did happen, but because it reminds us how fragile reality truly is. Final message. Today, we explored a world that never existed. A world imagined through the lens of alternate history, not to celebrate conflict, and not to rewrite the past, but to better understand how profoundly history shapes the present. The real lessons of the Second World War are found not in fantasies of victory, but in the enormous human cost of hatred, authoritarianism, and global conflict. Remembering those lessons helps us appreciate the value of peace, cooperation, and the freedoms many people have fought to protect. Perhaps the greatest question isn't, what if history had changed? It's, what can we learn from history today? Call to action. Now it's your turn. Do you think the world would have become more technologically advanced, or would it have been a far more dangerous place? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed exploring this alternate timeline, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because next time, we'll open another door into a different version of history. A version where one decision changes everything. Until then, stay curious and keep asking, what if?